Alright, so, back with more Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, aka Stanley Parable 2. Curiously, it is asking me to input the current time again, which makes me think that either my game was not saved, which I don't think is the case, or that there's some kind of a thing. What could the thing be? Is it just because there's a secret Easter egg ending? Maybe they just can't program. It's possible. Wait, hold on a second. This didn't happen last time. Last time you also said the time was exactly 6:11 p.m. How is that even possible? The odds are, let me see. That's not how probability works. It's completely not how probability works. Either you're messing with me or this is an incredible coincidence. It's neither. I always start my stream exactly on time. Look at my schedule. It says 6:11 p.m. today, anyway. Is 6:11 p.m. the exact moment in the day when you decide it's time to play video games? 6:11 p.m. rolls around and wahoo, video game time. I do say wahoo, video game time every time I start the stream. This is true. Or is it specifically the time at which you like to play the Stanley Parable? Regardless of the specific... And this was not... Incredibly, this was not me triggering a particular thing. I really did start the stream at the same time and then not put in the time until just now. It's an incredible example of effective scheduling. This guy knows. He knows that I'm a good scheduler. Excuse me, I'm getting a little bit lost in the weeds here. Go on, get out of here and just play the game already. But I'm looking forward to seeing you again at 6:11 p.m. Please come back soon. Is that the only reason that they ask? How very strange. That's so fun because even if the odds are not, you know, 1,440 to 1, it is still not that likely that I would have actually done it at exactly the same time. But I did happen to. I did happen to do it at exactly the same time.
Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order.
And we could have so easily missed it by a few seconds.
Did every day of every month of every year.
Well, if I hadn't, the game would have started, that's what.
Considered it soul-lifting, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
So do I have any plans? I don't think I do. And then one day,
something
very peculiar happened.
Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Achievement unlocked. Welcome back. Why did it not remember my key bindings? Forward.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Figure Finders Committee meeting today in the meeting room. That's new. So should I continue picking up the bucket? It does have the 2 stickers on it because I was in the broom closet. Alright, let's think real quick. What did I do last time? Last stream, I went and got the... I got a new ending where you take the elevator back up to the boss's office. I got the disobey everything ending. And then I think that was it. And then I went in the new content. And then after doing all the new content, I took the bucket. And I got the obey everything and then disobey at the end. Sounds about right. Should I pick this up now? What's this? I can't jump over it because I can't jump.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
Oh, door 416 is back. Let's finally do this. After trying it before and not being able to.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No.
I know precisely what an achievement is worth. Just look at my WoW achievement score.
5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition. I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks. No, I'm still not feeling it. You see, now that you've gotten the bucket involved, my standard has gone up. Merely clicking a single door is no longer enough.
I thought the bucket might do
I
something.
want to see you press this bucket against multiple doors. Now that's the kind of thing that merits an achievement. Why don't you put 20 bucket touches into door 417?
Will it be a different achievement because I'm doing it with the bucket? Oh, also, am I getting a little bit of... No, that's this is what I had last time. Where is it? 417?
Okay, great. Now, go touch the bucket on door 437 a few times.
To get the achievement.
Yes, now we're getting somewhere. How about door 415? Give it some bucket love.
Oh, it's not the first of May anymore.
Now back to door number 437.
You heard the man.
You know, I think the copy machine needs some attention. Why don't you rub the bucket on it a bit? All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere. Okay, now bring the bucket on top of employee 419's desk.
I can do that. Whoops. Not that way.
Yes, this is great. Now the bucket knows exactly what it's like to be employee 419. Now, let's introduce it to door 416.
I can finally do that. I couldn't before.
We've almost got it. Now make the bucket and the copy machine touch again. Finish it off, Stanley. 5 touches of the bucket on door 430. Yes! We did it! Wow! That felt amazing.
You know, not all buckets will get this kind of experience. They won't all know what it's like to slam repeatedly against nearly every door in one section of an office building, or what it's like to be employee 419. Buckets may dream of an experience like this, but few can say they've truly lived it. You've given a bucket hope today. Stanley, I'm very proud of you.
How wonderful.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
What to do? What to do? Trust the completionist instinct. There will be a reward for finding them all. Warehouse access plan. Produce one plank to allow ease of access past fence. Construct bridge to allow collection of shiny float. Retrieve Chris's remains from warehouse floor. Construct new structurally sound bridge. Where is all this? Oh, red and blue. No buckets past this point. Wink over to the right. We need more planks. Places to search. Oh, and it... Inside of a sequel exhibit. A large room. Lots of boxes. Stairs. Something to do with stairs. Somewhere with red and blue. Nearby a fireplace. A private but smelly place for an important person. LOL, looks like 427. Ha ha ha. 5 there be. Just take it from me. Gotta collect them all. Is this some kind of game? There must be a point to this. Will be around lies. Who are you? 666. Lol. There will be cleaning of this wall required. Stop kidding yourself. I want them so much. I want to go home. Figlies? Follow clues provided by employee 416. To do. Clues. myclue.jpg. Where are they? Please do not leave office before reporting on any new findings. Teamwork and communication are of great importance during this unprecedented time of investigation. Thank you. Help. I'm going to post it. Can't help you with that. Small floating objects have appeared around the office. We have to synergize our resources to ensure the retrieval. There are many questions. There was no memo from management. Maybe we are the collectibles. Shut the frick up. Source of levitation. Base? How can you tell you spotted one? Oh, it shows him right there in the bathroom. Red room. Weird spinning figurines. Ideas. What do they want? Our data? Stock options? Money? Why do they, kinda, look like 427? Why floating? Magic? Our quarterly success? Magnets. Dreams. Training exercise. Management? Saw one in cargo room. 421, building a bridge. What do we need contracts for then? NDA, potential liability. Can we sell them? Obviously. More money if sold together. How many are there? Numbers. What we know. What we don't know yet. What we forgot. Bonus stuff. Why wouldn't they just tell us something will happen? This investigation, this room, they feel pointless, TBH. F files, confidential. Pieces of evidence, thousands. So I've passed through here with the bucket before, but there wasn't all this. This must only happen, like, when that flyer shows up in the main room. Wonderful.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Another miniature Stanley figurine.
Easy.
This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about
Figlies.
Mini Stan?
No, Figlies.
Stanley figs. What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Very difficult to read. Oh well.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations...
Oh, the bucket is gone.
...without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket!
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley! Find me!
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley rolled over in agony and blacked out.
The real bucket was inside us all along.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad.
No buckets?
Ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Alright. It was a fun bucket adventure.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, there it is again.
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his
Oh, sorry. I
chest.
did get the confusion, or took the path to the confusion ending before, and had the option
This
to
was
sacrifice the
not directly
bucket
to the
and
meeting
did not
room,
do so.
But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Too small.
Truly, being here with the bucket was a grand adventure. Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right. then walking to the lounge, then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired.
Some of these really are too small to read.
Perhaps this was where the bucket felt most truly at home, here in the employee lounge. Perhaps it's the only place a bucket can even feel at home. But finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge, and they took the first open door on their left to get back to business.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Oh.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlers. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me. But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How
Sure I
deeply
did.
touching.
That's exactly what I did.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked. No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about
What?
it. This misunderstanding could have dire
Hello,
consequences
Shub.
on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Oh, we were stepping in there for a moment. What is this? Have you heard the stuff swapping RAM sticks can be weird? So you think swapping to RAM would be mostly plug and play, but apparently patience is a necessity, as in wait 3 to 5 minutes after plugging your machine back in. Let the memory do its thing for another 5 minutes. Shut the darn thing off, and if it doesn't reboot, hit... Wait. That's very... I mean, I'm used to... As I mentioned, I'm used to having inexplicable computer problems with inexplicable solutions, but that does seem very strange. What you gonna do?
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
Okay, but is a hot dog a sandwich?
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Not really.
Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Good. Very good at this.
Item
But the new
2.
RAM is working now?
Is
Good.
this a bucket?
Also no.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 3. Is this a bucket?
You would think it was. Since the first two were no, this one is also no.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
Oh. Well, I got double tricked.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
I believe it is.
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up?
Because I thought that you thought it was a gimme.
Incredible. Let's just move on to the next one. Is this a bucket?
Well, no.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
No. I see. I see now.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
No.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
May I leave?
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
He said he couldn't find it. What did I... No.
Yes, thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless... Is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
Yes.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these
Nobody
questions with
knows.
confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay. Here we
You
go.
mustn't.
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. My God, I have no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket.
It's like League of Legends. Everything is coded as a minion.
You're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Was it a real reset? We never know.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
So should I go
It was. Had the bucket
try
turned
that
out to
one
be
again?
correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the
What
meeting room.
if I do it again, but try
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting
the
room.
opposite
Go
of
somewhere
every
else.
answer that I
Cargo
gave
lift,
before?
yes, good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about
what
your
is the
behavior
bandwidth on
up to
my
this
RAM?
point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness.
Don't know off the top of my
I think we
head.
have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding.
And then I'll try coming down here
is
without
and
the bucket
isn't a
to see if I can get the figurine.
Please, step in here for a moment.
Also, gonna try this door again? No, okay.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether
So
or
this
not
will
the thing
probably
I'm
just
showing
give
you
us the
is
same
a
ending
bucket.
again, but you never know.
Simply enough, right? This should tell us
We'll get some
everything
new jokes
we'll
at
ever
least
need
from
to
saying
know
the
about
opposite
what
things.
Is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 2. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Also, I wonder if there is something special for getting all of the questions right, or getting them all wrong.
Item 3. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a bucket.
And then the next one's the tractor. Last time I said yes.
Item 4. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next one.
And then on this one I said no. So I'm going to say yes
Is
this
this a
time.
bucket? Correct. This is a bucket.
And then this one he couldn't find. No, this
Item
one's...
6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Right. Yeah, this one is nothing.
Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
And then I said no. So I'll say yes this time.
Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something. And therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
Oh, this is a different question than before. I'll say yes again.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Pushing the final
I'm going
button
to
does
erase
nothing.
all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go.
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. My God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue.
I was so upset earlier today. I dropped 5 eggs on my kitchen floor.
We'll put back all of the
When I was in the middle of cooking. The only saving grace was that I had already taken out the eggs that I was going to eat. As I took out the last egg that I was going to break and make scrambled eggs, the carton, because it was partly off of the thing, taking that egg out unbalanced it, and it just fell off, and the last 5 eggs all cracked.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
So, I will not take the bucket now.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
No joke.
Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I would have been like really upset if I hadn't already, like if I was going to make food and had already started it and then broke the ingredients that I was going to make it with, because I already hate making food so much, and to go like I went through the trouble of making food and now I'm not going to get to eat it.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
I did notice the no buckets sign too when I was coming through here. Earlier.
Beautiful. Look, let me prove it.
Didn't I? I'm pretty sure.
On your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully.
Maybe?
This is important.
Oh, it's just wide open.
Through the red door. You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense
maybe there's
that we
more.
Used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
So if I do, I already did that ending. I guess we didn't actually.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you. What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Am I really? Have I done it again? Thank you. You would think after so many centuries of streaming that I would know how to stream, but I don't. No, wait. This says I'm on the right game. Doesn't it? Oh. I've been bamboozled. I really did think that I had just forgotten to switch, because what were we playing last time? Phoenix, right? It's very pretty.
No, wait. Where are you going? Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
But I'll gain a Stanley.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing. No! Oh, thank God. You lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room? No. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me? My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Figurine, where are you? I actually forget where the last one is.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
Let's go.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Let's... Oh, nearby a fireplace. Perfect. Also, broom closet again?
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers.
I don't believe
if I
you.
did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
You sure? I guess he is out of stickers. All right.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
It's not working.
Stepping in.
There we go. And yeah, that was what I was going for just there. Wow. There's one inside the box. I don't know how this could be different. Well, maybe it'll be more than just different narration, right? So you are now leaving. Oh, this is right outside the thing. The window of the initial office. Maybe the bucket. It might. Oh, all of them are. Every floor. You look out and you see that. It would be strange if this was the only ending that was, like, unchanged with the bucket. No, something will be different. Uno mas. Will it actually not cut this time? Because usually it cuts as soon as you, What? Shh.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
There's no bucket anymore. That's unexpected.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Do I go get that ending again?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I was not expecting the bucket to not be there.
Stepping in...
Such a fun game to explore. Because if this doesn't get me the bucket back, then I'm kind of out of ideas. Like, won't I have to reset my game data or something? Or maybe just going through and getting another ending. Maybe. One more floor. Do 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 in the dark. What does this say again? I forgot to read it last time. Oh, something. Do not proceed unless you have the narrator with you. They had a bunch of funny things that they, said in the promotions about the game.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. And try not to lose this one too, you dolt.
I don't follow their Twitter, but they email me.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Dolt, yeah.
On the staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Bump.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
So I thought there would be one right here. Or if not in the boss's office. It said near a fireplace. Oh.
And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done.
It's done.
We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
I wonder if we'll find a seventh one now. Or if the meeting room has changed.
Raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Yeah, let's go back. It takes a while to get this this
Wait,
ending.
Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go
Okay,
back
good.
up?
It is different.
When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
The number 3, you say?
Here we are,
said Stanley. "Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button." He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over.
Why not 8?
After taking some time to show the bucket around the boss's office, Stanley at last went to the keypad, where he began eagerly pressing the number 3 again and again.
No, no, no. Well, that's an 8. It's at 8. Can I leave without pressing the 3? No, I'm gonna press the 3. Hit that 3 button.
"Well," he said, "the number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life." Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
So last time the up and down led to the part where we went and gave a speech.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly. A hint of regret nagged in the back of Stanley's mind. Should he demonstrate the number 3 for the bucket again?
Indubitably.
No, said Stanley to the bucket. "You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel." He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing. "Here we go," said Stanley. "This time I'll really show you." He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears. And the whole time, he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator. Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
I wonder if I'll get a 3 sticker for doing this.
Said Stanley. "I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart." He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he
So
felt
we still get
so
the press
alive
conference
when pressing
ending.
it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work.
I have never played or watched any
For
Kingdom
months,
Hearts
he
at
advertised
all.
and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
Nothing special about 3s, though. It's just the same ending. It appears to be. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Oh. Alright. I was wrong. There's 3s.
This was it. One last chance to win the bucket over. One opportunity to share a true connection with a loved one.
3 again, 3 again. The Stanley story. 8. Why not 3? 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. 3 stars. 3. That's the magic number. Yes, it is. A shockingly three-dimensional character. 3 stars. 3-star magazine. They forgot to change that book. Oh well.
There was no one here. Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak.
Oh no.
To listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over. He was unloved, uninteresting. He was a failure. And in that moment, Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously. There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
The end. But the end is never the end.